1. We're live here. Hey guys, welcome to the 4th episode of GuardianCast? Question mark? What do you guys think? Let us know. Huffy had a pretty brilliant idea there, so we're gonna try it out. See if it sticks. Anyway, we're in the 4th episode. Just us 3 this week, no guests. There's a lot to go over, so we figured we'd just get into it, you know? So, let's just start off. You know, have you guys been playing the faction rally? What do you think?
Yeah.
I'll just start off. I'll say, you know, it's not too much different. They fixed some of the bugs, and it feels good to just kind of not have to go like loot the same chest over and over again if you don't feel like doing that. But other than
There
that,
are farmable methods though, which is nice.
right? Yeah, if you want to do that, you can.
Yeah, if you want to. There are like there's not like 500 token an hour, like holy freaking token fest.
Right.
Like let me bore holes into my eyes
Yeah.
methods, but there are like, oh, this is kind of broken, but like you could just play the game.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't gotten any of the new weapons yet, and I'm not sure like what's good versus what's not good of the like 5 or 6 new weapons we talked about last week. Do you guys have any idea?
I'm excited I've been actually trying to get some. The only thing I've gotten so far is the Future War Cult hand cannon, which is not bad actually for an Avalon 150.
Oh, you went Future
I
War Cult?
I haven't tried to get really any of them yet, or haven't really had a chance to. But from what I've played of it, it doesn't. I mean, it just seems like it was, but I guess what they intended to be. You know, like
Yeah.
But you have the
So,
darkest
I mean-
before now, so you don't really need any of
You
those.
don't need anything.
yeah, I don't need any other gun. I just
Hey.
dismantle everything else.
We gotta start saving again. We got that balance patch coming soon.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got some
I don't have a
pulse
problem with
rifles.
saving.
We got some pulse rifles dropping this week. Some
Yeah.
stuff that might be kind of nasty.
Yeah, good thing we're getting the
Yeah.
extra vault space this week to compensate. Oh, never mind. Sorry, guys.
May is it still coming in May?
Yeah,
It
it's
is,
in May. Yeah.
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 But I don't really have too much else about the faction rally. I didn't think we'd talk about this a lot.
I mean, we've covered it a couple of times, and every time they said it was going to be better, and I mean, it feels the same, but it's better, and like the guns that they've added are pretty much what we expected on top of like the last faction rally. So
Yeah, I think if there's a successful faction rally yet in D2, it's this one. No shit hit the fan.
That's true.
And there's some new stuff to get. So double thumbs up.
Yeah.
well, with the faction rally, I just feel like with this one, if anything, they've stopped the bleeding 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're not giving us anything like that, it's like mind blowing. That's not what this event is really intended to do.
Kind of a proven concept for the future, right? If they want to change it, then we know at least there's not like some crazy bug that's going to ruin it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll get into the good stuff now. There is a ton of roadmap changes. Some good, some bad.
Some really good.
Yeah, and we'll just go through each of them one by one. But so first, there is a bunch of stuff coming with this patch next week. So let's talk about the stuff that is coming with the patch next week. First off, there was something added to it that wasn't there before. This got pushed up, was originally supposed to be in March, and now is going to be coming next week. Prestige Nightfall Challenge Cards, version 1. They don't really specify what that is. I'm assuming it's going to be similar to the Prestige Challenge cards that they described for the Eater of Worlds raid. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like a test balloon to see how that works and to test the systems for it. And it also kind of seems like, you know, maybe they want to, you know, have this set up before the rewards, the Nightfall unique rewards.
I think that's a fair assumption. I mean, I'm excited to get my hands on them. I'm kind of excited that we don't know exactly what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be kind of like the stuff that they were talking about. It could kind of be like PoE style.
Right.
Either way, you know, it's a score that I need to get, and it's another activity that I need to do every week to get some stuff that I want. So, thank you.
Well, the Nightfall cards look pretty similar to. And I know we're going to talk about the you know, if we have anything to go off of, we could go off of the Crucible cards as well. So that'll
Yep.
probably be what, like, kind of the system that they're using. Like you talked about it last week, Rect, where you said that it was using the Bug Dude, that it was using the interface of the Ghost interface.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it seemed like it was going that route, but and it still does. I mean, the Victorious Veteran, all that stuff, it looks exactly the same as the same kind of thing. And I know we're going to talk about that by just a minute, right?
Yeah, towards the end, that'll be like the second half after the roadmap changes. So moving on from that, that's the only thing that was moved up to this patch. We can talk about the other stuff just briefly that's happening in this patch. Let me just open the roadmap real quick. The other stuff that's coming with this patch is Nightfall scoring and high score tracking, which will be nice. We've talked about that before. They've split this up into 3 now to kind of show that it's individual things. But we got Destination emblem variants, Crucible emblem variants, Nightfall emblem variants, and we'll get into what those emblem variants be later. Fire team members on the destination map, so that's a nice little quality of life thing.
Thank you, quality of life.
Yeah.
QOL. I remember when we all logged in for the first time and we were like fire teaming and grinding public events.
Where are you? What?
Where are you?
Yeah.
We were like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. But then
I can't see you on the map.
But then, like, to this whole, like, Destiny 1 was better thing, at least there's a lot of quality of life things people forget about, like maps didn't exist at all. So
yeah, we didn't have anything.
Yeah. PC public text chat. We've kind of talked about the opt-in versus opt-out system on that. They have opt-in. It is coming next week. I'm excited to really test this out and see. I hope. I think
the overall community is pretty much going to say just go ahead and opt in, and hopefully it doesn't become as toxic as World of Warcraft general chat.
Oh, I hope it does. I hope it's like Baron's chat.
It'll become worse than it. It's like it's something that will happen.
Yeah, I mean that's good though. I love just like.
But anything's better than this system of like, let me go LFG, I gotta add this person to my friends list, what's your battle tag, oh wait, my friends list is full, we gotta go on the European servers, all this, so just forget about all that, hopefully this will let you connect.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of weirdness. There's gonna be like people in the tower that are like selling trials carries $20, and there's gonna be
but hopefully there's a convenient block feature, and you can just
filter
those people out.
There needs to be a convenient block feature.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want that convenient block filter though, because I just like to read it. Like a lot of times, it's like I can sort through that stuff. But play World of Warcraft, if I turn my camera off or if I move my camera, you can see the general chat in the raid, and it is absolutely toxic. Like 100%, like 1000% toxic.
Right.
And there's some people that are doing like these recruitment messages and stuff, and you just kind of actually like over time you just kind of block it out, and then you're just listening to like all the other toxic stuff that you want to get at. Some crazy conversations happen in general chat.
There's gonna be like people like people are gonna have like girlfriends and boyfriends, like e-girls, e-boys in Destiny now. Like, hey, you want to meet me in the hangar? Hide next to Zur under the staircase.
Let's get some hype in the chat for 2 weeks in a row of Huffy having sirens outside his window.
I'm sorry. There's literally nothing I can do.
New York.
I live in Harlem, babe.
So the other thing is companion mod / shader interactions. I don't really know what that means. I guess the companion app is going to be able to inspect those things.
Yeah, it's going to be able to inspect and apply and move shaders.
Okay.
Which is and actually, this actually is a big change. The reason why this is a big change is because if the companion app has it in the API, that means things like dim and things like that and could potentially have it in the API as well. So if they're improving their API, then the changes that they can make with dim will improve it there as well.
Do either of you guys use the companion app for anything? I haven't used it.
I use it for clan chat. My pretty toxic clan chat.
Positivity, toxic clan chat.
Yep.
All right, so that's it for what's coming. Let's talk about what got pushed back out of what was supposed to come this week and is now.
Can we talk
gonna be
about what got
March.
pushed forward first? I'm sorry, but like
That's it. That's it.
no, some stuff got moved.
We're going chronologically. That's why. That's why it's going to be like this. So, like, I talked about what got pushed into this week. Next, we talk about what's going into March, and we can talk about what got pushed into March. Just to keep a good timeline going here.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, what got pushed from this patch into the next patch, March 27th. It's coming March 27th now. The exotic repetition reduction. I don't know why that needed to be pushed back, but I'm sure they're going to have some weird explanation. You know, they're going to be like, sorry guys, if we didn't give you the same exotics, then like all of the exotics would get deleted from the game. And
I mean, at the end of the day, it was probably just like, hey, we have so much firepower this week at the office. What do we need to get done? Oh, everybody has all the exotics anyway, so let's spend our time.
And that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are upset about this.
Well, the thing is that it doesn't just apply to exotics. It also applies to legendaries, because the legendary drop chance, it has the same kind of problem with it, where you can get the same gun like 5 million times, and the one gun you're looking for is so far away. All I'm happy for at that point, like they can put it off until May if they want to, because I have pretty much everything I want anyway, and I think most people do if they have played the game for an extended period of time. They like the changes, that specific change is fine to wait until the new season of content when I don't have everything.
Yeah, I'd be pissed if the new patch dropped and I was getting like 6 or 7 graviton forfeits, but until then, I'm not too worried.
I'd love to see like the data on this, because I wonder how much of this is a bug versus how much of this is just random, because I don't know if you guys know, but just like any random system is bound to have this happen. You could have this, like, you know, if you're playing roulette or something, you could have black hit like 27 times in a row. That's just like odds and probability. And it could just, while you're there, never hit red or whatever. But like, so like the Apple iTunes store, their shuffle system, people were complaining, oh, it's like giving me the same artists like 2-3 times in a row. It doesn't make any sense. You know, it's not a good shuffle. It's not random, but it is random. You know, it's just that. So they actually had to change their algorithm to make it less random, to make people think it was more random, because your brain like looks for patterns even when they're not there and stuff like that. So I wonder like how much of it's a bug versus how much of it is just like, you know, they didn't control for that aspect of it.
Unfortunately, they can't like remove, like, unless they built a table of how things drop, and a lot of times they don't or won't. They can't really prevent against something from dropping a second, and they wouldn't really want to.
Right.
Yeah. World of Warcraft had a very similar problem with its legendaries, because it took you 2 or 3 weeks to grind for just one. And even though it was highly unlikely that you wouldn't get the same legendary, there actually still was a very, very small chance that you would get the same legendary. And it was like, if you did, you could just contact a GM and they'd be like, well, we're sorry about that. We're going to give you another legendary instead.
Oh, really?
And then it was like a random legendary, but it was just kind of...
That seems like a lot of like individual management for the GMs to be handling, right?
Well, no, it happened very, very rarely.
Okay.
I think it only happened like out of the millions of legendaries that it was given, I think it only happened like 10 or 15 times.
Oh crap.
So it was very, very, very rare.
Interesting.
Yeah, it would suck to be one of those 15 people.
Yeah.
It's like a Bigfoot video. Me getting the same legendary twice.
Yeah.
And you post it on YouTube and like flood the comments. Fuck World of Warcraft.
Can you
Fix your
imagine?
game.
Can you imagine if that happened in Destiny and just like Deej comes into the tower? He's like, "I'm sorry, Guardian. Here's a different legendary." You know?
It's a different one. I'm sorry that you were missing the Pallades corrector.
Let me fix that for you.
So this is the one I'm kind of sad about with this patch. Nightfall Strike unique rewards got pushed back out of our patch into the the March 27th patch, and they did give a little bit of an explanation for it.
Yeah.
They said, so while we really wanted to get the Nightfall Strike unique weapons in your hands next week to coincide with scoring, it's more important that each of these rewards live up to the difficulty it will take to earn them. They will have to be super cool, so we're giving our artists extra time to make sure they are super cool. Now, I swear to God, if these things come out and are reskins, and you said, like, our artists need extra time to work on they better be unique skins, but it's okay. It's an extra month, whatever. You know, we'll live.
Yeah, I mean, the systems, the Nightfall systems are going to be in place. We're going to be like messing with the scoring for a month to feel out how everything goes. I think it's going to be good. I think if they're going to take this much time, then we're going to get some like stuff that's good.
Yeah.
Tanics. Give me Tanics.
So
Tanics.
So the idea is that these artists are. I mean, you got to think about who these artists are, right? These are the artists that made every single one of the Crimson emotes. They're the artists that made every single one of the dawning stuff, and like all of the like the unique rewards that look really good, and especially the ornaments and stuff like that. These guys know what they're doing. They just probably need just a little bit of extra time, and you know, 4 weeks for us is really like 2 weeks for them,
right?
Because like they have to have it done and in the game by like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So they just probably weren't ready. Because everything has to be in the game right now. Like everything that's done for this patch pretty much has to be in there. Any last minute changes and things like that have to happen like between now and the one to launch date, which is next week.
So companion vendor viewing.
Literally give me the Cloak of Tan.
Okay.
I want it back.
I'd rather have new stuff, but we'll
give me Tanics.
Companion vendor viewing, it sounds like another addition to the app. I think it's going to be similar probably to what we had in Destiny 1. You used to be able to look at the vendors in there. I kind of remember it. Like, so it was convenient because they had the rotating stock of stuff, which would be nice. You won't have to actually fly in to find out what they have or go to a third-party website.
We'll be able to track down greens that we need better.
But ultimately, I'm not salty that that's been delayed or anything. You know, it's just whatever.
Isn't there websites and stuff like that you can already track what you have and what you don't for like factions? There are.
Yeah, well, for like armor sets and exotics, there's DestinySets.com. I use it every time Xur comes to find out if I already have everything there or not.
Yeah, Destiny Sets. Yeah, DestinySets.com.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It can check like all your raid armor, your raid weapons, every set in the game, like planetary stuff, to show you what you do and don't have.
Or what you have acquired at one point too, they can track that. But like if you have it in your vault, they know it, and you know it'll remember it too. So if you come back later and you decide that you want to give it to us,
I don't know if it's retroactively applies. Like if you logged in for the first time, if it's scanning things you've already
if you logged in for the first time, it doesn't, right? But if you logged in and then you logged in again and they say, well, I have these, like every single Iron Banner, everything for the Iron Banner I have, and just looking at like the planetary sets or what is I guess the Trials gear, right?
Yeah.
It's all listed kind of funky, but you can search it and find.
I'll have to check that out. I was unaware.
So, positive piece of news about the March patch that'll be coming is we're getting Rumble added.
We're getting Rumble.
Yep. So
we're getting 6v6. We're getting Rumble. Mayhem.
The 6v6 Iron Banner was already slated for March.
Yeah, but I'm just jumping in and putting it in a pile, baby.
Right. Okay.
I hated Rumble, so.
Okay, but it's another playlist. I
don't know
why do you hate everything that's good? You're like, only supremacy, no control, no Rumble, no nothing.
No, I like it from Destiny 1. I didn't really care, like, because I don't like lone wolf type stuff where it's me versus 6 players. I think I only did that playlist like 1 or 2 times. It's not the end of the world. I mean, I'm happy that other people have it, but I'm never gonna play it, so it's fine.
I do like it. It's interesting to me. I like the entire game, and then the last few minutes of Rumble, if you're like top 1 or 2, are so exciting because it's just like this game needs to end. I gotta win this, you know. And
Yeah.
it can be frustrating though. Like I remember when I was grinding out the Grimoire for Rumble, and like I just needed a few more wins. And if you like lost at the last second, it was like I just wasted 25 minutes. What the hell,
Yeah.
you know? But it is. I think it'll be good to just have more playlists in general. It's going to be in the weekly rotating playlist, so it won't always be there. But it's a good start.
Yeah.
And,
Mayhem is going to be in the rotating too, and
Yes.
they're going to bring doubles eventually.
right. We don't know when,
Yay.
but not in March probably. But they are
Yeah.
going to bring doubles eventually. They said. All right. So moving on to what was pushed out of the March patch. This is kind of the bummer stuff into May. So the exotic weapon armor sandbox changes we were talking about last week, like the Graviton Lance and stuff like that, unfortunately is not going to make it into the March patch with the sandbox changes. It's going to be pushed
That's
back to
fine.
May.
I mean, we're getting new exotics, and the old exotics are going to be different when the new content releases. That'll be cool. I mean, things we'll have enough to adjust to with the weapon and sandbox changes. Different things are already going to be good.
Yeah.
So
It does bum me out a little bit because I was really excited to see. 'Cause they've been teasing those changes like on Twitter
Yeah.
and stuff like that, you know. But
I really want to use Skyrender's Oath.
so my two thoughts on this were, you know, do you think that they're delaying it because they're not done tweaking the exotics, or do you think they're delaying it because they want to test the Crucible sandbox changes on their own first, and also maybe roll out the exotic changes with Masterworks instead of like these exotics are better and then are getting even better with Masterworks in the next month, you know?
I think they're moving. They're having the transition between we want to have everything perfect when we launch to okay, so we're gonna beta test everything on you from here on out, pretty much, because like the Crimson doubles was kind of a test, right, to see how they could lower TTK, how they could change the mechanics,
Yeah.
how they could make it feel faster, while at the same time. So I think it's more likely that they like the second one that you just said.
Right. All right. Now here's the stuff that was pushed from May to we don't know when it's coming, and top of the list is the mod system improvements, or mods 2.0. Man, that's a bummer, because that's like one of the things I'm looking forward to the most is the mod changes, because the system as it is just means nothing. You know, it's just a number that doesn't do anything.
Well, if they do it right, which is I hope why it's delayed, then getting multiples of the same weapons will be rewarding, because the mod system will let us make like meaningful changes to the stuff that drops in the game and customize
Did they say
it.
when it was going to be?
No, they just said that it's not coming in May, and that's
So
all I have
September.
to say about it. That's what I think. I think it'll probably be
So
September.
September is going to be like, guys, we like that's probably the worst news that we
Yes.
could have received, because I have so many mods that I don't have any I don't have anything to do with them, and the vault space isn't coming until May, so I can't put them in the vault.
And look, the other thing about that HK that has kind of vanished. I remember when Christopher Barrett originally said like the things that were coming. One of the things he mentioned outside of mods 2.0 was that they were going to make it so you could dismantle blue mods with a chance for them to turn into legendaries, and that's not on the
Mod
roadmap
components.
anywhere.
mod component.
Yeah, that's not on
And
the.
it does that.
It does that
it-
now.
Yeah, you can do that now. Yeah, you
For
can
blue
dismantle
mod.
a blue
Okay,
mod. And
then I'll just get rid of
transfer
all of them. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Well, it's the problem is like the gunsmith doesn't offer like any good choices, and the gunsmith doesn't sell guns. So he sells engrams. Like why wouldn't a gunsmith sell guns? It's ridiculous.
That's true. That's true. I don't know why he wouldn't sell guns. This is a huge bummer. I get that like they want it to be perfect, and I totally understand that these things take time, but I think the willingness to have faith in that for such a long period of time is low in people. Like think about how we said, I know there's problems now, but Destiny 2 is right around the corner. They're just taking the time to make it perfect, guys.
Well, no, I think we can absolutely think the worst. I think honestly, the worst thing that I could think right now for what that it is, for what that's actually happening, and I think it is true, is that they want a bullet point on the box of the next year 2. The physical release when it happens in September. They want a bullet point for the physical release, and they're like, well, mod 2.0, it's gonna be it's better, so much better.
I mean, if it is blah blah so much better, then
we need to at least hear about it. We got to at least tell us what you're working on.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about it, but I mean, there'll be hype around year 2. The thing they need to, I mean, I was a proponent, like an unpopular proponent of them literally like taking everything, making it perfect, and just packaging it into year 2 and having like a renaissance like the Division did, having like a huge like slap it on your face like, hey, the game is totally different, come back and try it.
I think the problem is for them to keep it under wraps for that long, I don't think people trust them like to just do that on their own without player feedback. I think they need the player feedback at this point, so they kind of have to let us know what they're working on, so that if the community doesn't want something that they're working on, we can say, okay, please stop working on that and instead focus your time on something else.
Well, I'd like to be surprised, but at the same time, with things like maybe that's not something such a big deal, because we have what we have, and we can work with what we have. Although we don't like what we have, we can work with what we have. So that might be okay to surprise us with, like Huffy's talking about. But like, I don't, and I know it's going to be, the sad thing is I know it's going to be a bullet point on the box of why we should buy the September DLC. And that's going to suck, because it was like, well, that's supposed to be in year 1.
Yeah, I can't see them coming out in the summer with like, hey guys, here's the July patch, mods 2.0,
No. Well, maybe actually. Because like they've got two like a monthly patch every single month that might actually hit before September. So
it's possible. It'd be nice.
Okay, well, maybe it'd be proven wrong.
I would love to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
Please prove me wrong, Bungie.
So one last note on this whole, we don't know when this stuff is coming. You already mentioned doubles. They said doubles plan to return. We do not have an exact release date just yet. Keep an eye out for next week's TWAB, and where we'll go more in depth about future Crucible plans. So I thought this would be a good time to tell you, Huffy, you should try and find a guest for next week, since it sounds like it's going to be PvP focused.
I'll send you a list of peeps that could come and tell me what you like.
Cool. So that's it for the roadmap changes. That's everything that got shifted around. Unless you guys have anything else to...
I'm happy with them overall. I mean, I'm getting Rumble and faster than I was. So 7 thumbs up. That's what I was concerned with.
Okay.
Rumble. We're getting Rumble. Not in September.
Right.
Like, literally... not fun.
That is great news.
Well,
I'm
Rumble's
really
gonna feel
about
faster though too, just like 2v2 felt faster, because there's 6. Like, you figure the team shot mechanic, when you turn the team shot mechanic onto 2 people, you're gonna lower the TTK of everybody, and so like the split decision making that you'll have in those games have to be so on point, or otherwise you're dead, and you'll probably die anyway.
Sandbox changes will be coming at the same time, so we'll see how it all works together.
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing is these emblem aura variants. Man, they actually look pretty cool. I mean, I'm not like somebody who's really like into vanity cosmetic stuff, but I like the direction they're going with this. So they brought on senior design lead Tyson Green, who said, we want to go further in the direction of emblems as a means of exposing achievement. And there's a 3-point plan that they have for that, where they said, first, we're exposing more stats on emblems and making emblems more available to players who want to display those stats. So it's like your favorite kind of person, Huffy,
Yeah.
Second,
I love people with stats.
Tracking numbers as opposed to level 25.
Right.
My KAD.
Yeah. Ooh. Second, we're collapsing auras into emblems and removing them as standalone items. This is a thing where I'm kind of like, I'm not upset about it or happy about it, really. This whole like merging the two systems. I kind of just feel like they're simplifying the UI more. I know that there's probably going to be people who are a little tweaked, like I can't mix and match auras and emblems, but like as it stands, I don't really care about auras at all. I don't think they look that cool. I think that the year one like Nightfall blue flames on your head in Destiny 1 looked better than this like weird cone that comes out of your head now. So I kind of hope they've reworked the animation for that. But honestly, that's fine if they want to merge the two things together.
Well, according to one of the emblems that we saw, like we actually saw like the glory to the Emperor applies that orange crown aura, so maybe it's like an orange crown, but then the other one says it's a purple crown aura. Which is different than the Prestige Nightfall. So I mean I guess I don't know. Well, to your point though, they kind of have to simplify things because in September they're just going to be adding things. They're going to be adding things and then also simplifying things more. So like everything that they're adding now has to be simple, so that they can get it into the game, into the September game, because I'm sure the people who are working on the September update don't have this information. I mean, they could probably get the information, but once it's in the game, then that's what they have to work with.
Yeah. I think it's cool that, I mean, because the auras were freaking useless. There's no point in having the auras.
Right.
Now the auras are connected to an emblem, which is connected to now these perks, like increased Vanguard token drops for you and your fire team. So now, like, the emblem, you know, even though you might not have it all the time to where you feel like you look cool or whatever, it signifies something. It signifies that you did something and you're contributing something to the fire team as meaning, let's go.
And not just this week either. Like it looks like it's even applies to past things, because like the Pyramidion is like, this is what your score is on the threshold, so that's why you're getting that purple crown aura. Or I
thought it says the auras are conditional, that like for the raid one you're it's going to be tied to your emblem, but you still have to get the clear that week to activate the aura.
Okay. Well, that makes sense then. It's the similar thing to the as this week, but you know, it kind of sucks that the Trials aura is probably going to be the same thing.
I agree with you, Huffy. I think that it's good that they're adding the actual buff to make it do something. I think the reason they avoided that initially is because the Nightfall buff in year one was a significant rep and experience boost, and people felt it was obligatory to have to do the Nightfall before you did anything else, because it just would be like, oh, I wasted that time doing this other stuff before the Nightfall and didn't get as much as I could have out of it. But
I understand that concern, but also like, hey, I mean, reason
to do it,
more reason to do things instead of more gray. Like, I want to have to do some stuff to like min-max my time.
So these are kind of long quotes, but I feel like it's important for their design philosophy here. They explained what they want to achieve with these emblem variants. And he says, if an emblem indicates high achievement and lots of players use it, we didn't want that to mean everyone looks the same, which they do right now. But we still want achievement emblems to be recognizable as such. Variants are being introduced to allow visible achievement without losing the recognizable identity of the emblems. Some variants are unlocked via conditions. The new Crucible Kills emblem unlocks some fun class foe variations after you down 1,000 Guardians of that class. Others are from drops like Destination Nightfalls, and some of them might be quite rare. So I think that's really cool. I like it. It's kind of going like giving you things to grind, you know, and even if it's for like a cosmetic purpose, at least you can customize your character a little bit.
I was sad about the 1,000
that's
number.
A lot.
Like 1,000's pretty low.
Oh yeah, for like specific class. So like on my Masterworks, I think I have like 2,000 hand cannon kills, and that's like So I mean, I think over the course of time, they should add more tiers to that, probably. But I think this is just a start. You know.
Yeah.
It'll probably take a month or so to get 1,000 kills against one class.
It took me like a couple of weeks to get like 4,000 kills in the Crucible on a new character, and it's like, I mean, I'd like for it to take like a little more.
Yeah, I agree.
A little more, just a little more.
Yep.
You know.
And also, took you a month, or did you take it last time, or what?
It took me less than a month.
A couple weeks. Like, so 4,000, but that's divided by 3 classes, so it'll be for you. You play a lot of Crucible, so the average person would probably be, that plays Crucible on a weekly basis. It'll probably be 1 to 3 months to get those emblems.
I think that like a month of grinding is like, I think that's like a good. I think that there should be some things in the game that like take a month of like focused grinding.
Right.
There's not any of that. It'd be cool.
And more like I'd like to see something a little more targeted, because you're not really like, I need to go kill warlocks. Like no one. It's just gonna happen randomly over time, and no one's gonna be like impressed. Like, oh, this guy killed 1,000 warlocks. No, like.
I mean, it's actually pretty targeted.
I'm impressed that this person killed 1,000 titans. I don't know what they're talking about.
If you want to kill 1,000 warlocks, you play PC, and if you want to kill 1,000 hunters, you play console. It's and if you want to kill 1,000 titans, you wait till the balance match. So it's pretty targeted, actually.
Yeah. But I do want to see them add some long-term goals where you even maybe I'll never even achieve them. I'll see somebody that I queue up against, and I'm like, oh, somebody actually has that. That's crazy. Yeah. That's awesome. That would be nice to have some things like that in the game. So the second part of this is, as an example that ties all this together, are the new Nightfall emblems. Obtained by completing specific Nightfall strikes, these emblems display your highest personal score in the Nightfall. In the future, we hope to display your clan's highest score too. These emblems have several variants of each, which drop from that specific Nightfall, but in some cases only above certain thresholds, and we expect some to be quite rare. And finally, these emblems enable purple Nightfall aura, as well as Fireteam bonus for Vanguard token drops, but only if your personal score is above the par score. That sounds cool. We'll see how this score system plays out. I'm really excited to get my hands on it and see if it actually motivates me to want to do a Nightfall over and over again for a score.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to test that, but I like that they're at least trying it,
Yeah, I'm excited about more Vanguard tokens because they're the hardest thing to grind to me.
Mm-hmm. What do you want with Vanguard tokens? It's the ugliest armor in the game, the Vanguard stuff.
I mean, I still don't have a main ingredient. I really need a main ingredient.
Gotcha. Even the ornaments actually make that armor even uglier.
For Hunter,
Huffy said to me, he's like, "You're never gonna get the main ingredient. Just go ahead and just stop." And the second that he said just stop, as soon as it came in, it was the main ingredient. He was like, "Well, all right."
I literally hopped into the stream and I'd been there for 6 seconds, and he's like, "I'm gonna get the main ingredient," and I was like, "I'm gonna troll HK." No, you're not. Main ingredient.
That's hilarious.
It was terrible. I felt like a poop face.
All right, so that's mostly it. There's a couple miscellaneous notes that I want to cover. I found some of this stuff interesting. So in this patch, there's some quality of life fixes that's coming next week. They said they fixed an issue where the Phoenix Dive ability can be used to get out of the intended play space. I didn't even know that was a bug. Did you guys? I never heard of that before.
Yeah.
On Huffy knows everything.
I'm sure if you went onto the Bungie forums, you'd hear so much salt about it being in the game.
Right. There's a big problem in Control.
Okay.
Specifically because on Altar Flame and Endless Veil and Dead Cliffs, you could get below 2 of the zones using Phoenix Dive, and the zones are actually they don't have a height or depth change, and you could literally just put someone underneath Zone B.
But then there's only 3 people running around that can actually shoot their guns, right? So
yeah, I mean either way, it's annoying to have someone outside of the playable space capping zone.
I just didn't. I've never seen it or heard of it, but that is bad. And to Bungie's credit, actually, I guess we never saw or heard of it, because if we did, then there'd be more people doing it.
Yeah, they really. Well, I mean, a big thing too is like some of the, like the second week of trials, like one of the larger content creators in specific found one of his mods found the out of bounds glitch on Altar Flame.
And
then
then
he
we weren't
posted
allowed to
it
play
on
it.
his Twitter.
Yeah.
And then everybody in the game was outside, because he made this epic clip where he was like outside of the map and he got a quad feed with Golden Gun, like jumping into the map, and then everybody was outside.
And those people will always use like, I'm just trying to bring this to Bungie's attention so they'll fix it, but really they just want more views on YouTube or whatever, you know.
I mean,
they're just trying to bring attention to it so that, you know, you're...
it's fun. You know, I have, if there's glitches in the game and you use them, you know, like I don't, you know, it's in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like look at, it was like part of the game in Halo 2. People loved like super bouncing and BXR and getting out of the maps and stuff.
Don't crucify people for stepping outside of a map if it's literally as easy as pushing A. Like, I'm not hacking my Xbox.
The only thing that they're gonna like ban you for is like walking through walls and stuff like that. Like everything else is, as far as everything else, as far as like the word cliff glitch, I don't even actually know if they even said it was a problem or if they're even gonna fix it.
They said they're not touching it, so I don't think they're gonna fix it. So this next one's big. They're finally fixing the issue where you receive a loss if opponents back out against you multiple times in a row. Finally. I mean, I can't even believe it went on this long. I mean, because there's so many people quitting. I mean, I know you experience it more, being that people check stats and stuff like that, but I even have it happen, you know, where it's like, oh, this team quit out, and then like another random team quit out, and then you're just screwed, you know. It's
the fact that they found out exactly, like the community kind of found out like what was actually causing it was the stats hadn't been reset. So if somebody had quit on you and they got a 0 stats on you, and they got a 0 stats on you the second time they quit, it would look like there was no stats in that game. So it would obviously have to be a loss if no one got any stats that second game. But the solution to it was like going into a crucible and getting 1 stat for you, which is 1 kill.
Quick.
I don't even think it's a death. I think it's a kill. Like if you get a kill, you can leave that map right away and then go right into the next one. It sucks that we had to do it that way, or that even like the community even found that. To begin with, but
I mean, you know, I do nothing but trial showbang on the weekend, and 30% of like would have been won cards at least are lost every week to the backup glitch. So the fact that it is getting fixed so soon makes me so excited. So
soon as in like 6 months into the game.
Well, so soon to now, babe.
Hey, babe. It's 1 week. 1 week.
Don't crush my high.
All right.
Like next week, right? So
literally next week.
Next week, it'll be a thing of the past.
There's going to be 0 stress and tripping. No more like inviting everyone on the other team to a party saying, "Please don't leave, please."
So another cool quality of life thing that we're getting is that you can now obtain the Crucible helmet ornament by playing trials instead of just the comp playlist, which I'm excited about because I was never going to get that.
That's coming now.
Because you already did it.
Because I did it on 2 accounts.
Oh my god!
I actually took like 8-hour streams, literally 8-hour streams both times I did it to get 25 matches.
Wow.
I'm straight like sitting in orbit waiting on people to play comp, because like why would you play comp during the weekday?
Yeah, so I'm happy because I don't know if I've played comp since like the first week of the game, but
yeah, there's no reason to play quick play.
Finally, a PC fix, which I'm surprised about because I said previously I didn't think they were going to fix this, but the colony will now work above 30 FPS, so there you go. Now we just
Sorry, PC community.
Yeah.
I apologize in advance for your loss.
No, just VSync to 30 frames. I don't know what people are complaining about.
Yeah, right.
Just use all of your extra horsepower and put that into nothing,
All
and
right.
put lock yourself at 30 frames just to use the colony. That's good.
Yep, sounds to a 12 thumbs up.
Great time.
Yes, sir.
So
12 thumb.
this is the best we've done on time. That's everything I have. We can move on to questions now, and this will be about an hour. So that's pretty good.
Is there any other missed topics? Anything that we missed or anything like that?
If you guys have anything?
I'm excited about I have like 300 of a few shaders, and I'm very excited next week to press the X button on all of them.
While we're talking about this, guys, we're going to do Twitter questions next, and then if you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them in chat now, and then we'll get to those. You have anything else?
We need to hear about. I need to hear more about the Crucible changes,
Yes.
especially in regard. They talked about all the things that they are.
Well, hopefully next week, right? They said look forward to next week's TOB.
Yeah.
The TWAB.
Yeah. They've talked so far about all of the things that they are buffing in a positive manner, which I think is good. I need somebody to acknowledge the fact that they never actually patched the 3-burst sidearms. And I need someone else to acknowledge the fact that Invis on consoles is not working as they intended. And I need somebody to address the fact that Invis on consoles is not working probably as they intended.
Well,
I need someone to address the fact that Invis on consoles is not working as intended.
dude, even on PC, I'd be okay with them fixing that, because there is a lot of people who use controller on PC, and it becomes abundantly obvious when you play against them, because you'll be like, look at this guy, he's hitting me with an auto rifle all the way across the map. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
or look at this guy, I'm
can't shoot me
Invis,
while
and
I'm
he
Invis.
missed everything.
yeah. So, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, at least those people are at a disadvantage in some way, you know?
Against one subclass in the game
Yeah.
that you play.
Yeah.
Nice, Rex.
Look, I need to handicap the controller players. I gotta have an edge. So.
Nice.
With like not being able to track like the hunters or what?
Yeah, there's 0 aim assist on an Invis Hunter, which means that on console, every stack of like 4 runs. Anyone that's trying to win at trials runs 4 Night Stalkers, and you can like very successfully destroy any team with 4 Night Stalkers, because there are 2 essential parts of playing Crucible. One is rotation and one is position.
Like on with the controller though.
Yeah.
I'm talking about with the controller, yeah.
So, I mean, if you're good at the game, though, if someone goes invisible, you just drag your mouse and put it over top of them and shoot at them like you normally would.
Well, if you have keyboard and mouse, you can deal with Invis, but on console,
I'm just being facetious.
Like all 4 people on the other team are unshootable. You can't shoot somebody with no aim assist on console. It's really, you just can't reliably do it.
Right, yep.
So is that a problem, or I don't get the... I don't get it.
He's saying the mechanic is unbalanced, that there should be aim assist on invisible people.
No, because what other thing do they have? Everything the hunter has is like useless.
Specifically the Night Stalker.
So like I'm totally okay with them doing that aim assist thing with the invis, but they need to buff some other things about the class, like the super.
They need to change
garbage.
the things about.
Yeah, they need to change fundamentally the way the Night Stalker works. Right. Super needs to be better. Invis needs to be... I'm fine with people being invisible as long as I can shoot them. Because 4 people on the map that you cannot shoot is a very...
I don't get the problem. No, but seriously, like the only reason why that is so strong is because the class is... The class is kind of like terrible to play otherwise.
The class is so broken.
All right. But like honestly though, you think that like this
is why widely accepted opinion on console that Night Stalker is messed up.
Well, over in the land of the frames.
I don't understand what the problem is.
Over in the land of the frames, we have these things called void locks that just constantly regenerate their health, and they are the most annoying thing in the game by far.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not a problem on console because you can shoot void locks. You can't shoot Night Stalkers.
Well, but like, okay, so if they sit in a rift, that's fine. But like, you think about like actually what they have, and we have some.
They run around the corner, eat a grenade. You chase them. They melee like, you. You know,
it's useless. They have a.
The smoke is the most overpowered. Like, it's the best. It's the single best ability in PvP. It's the single best melee ability.
No, I don't agree. No, having said that, I only play PvP on my hunter, so I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. You just play it because it's the best. Is that why you play Night Stalker? You don't play Titan because
he plays Arc Strider now, the worst subclass in the game.
The best neutral game.
The best neutral game.
The worst subclass in the game.
the worst subclass.
I mean, like these arc bolt grenades that do this dinky 90 damage. I just.
It's like it's just like when there are 4 people, right? So you're walking around the map, and there are 4 red dots on your map. None of them are people. All of them are smoke grenades. You're trying to walk around and you can't see anything. Everybody is invisible, and when you try to aim on them through the smoke, you're like flailing your stick around because they have no aim assist. And then they all 4 wear the graviton forfeit, so that literally 1 second more than half of every 20-second period, literally 11 out of every 20 seconds, visible.
But why do you?
Okay,
why do you want
we're really dragging this out. We're really
no. I don't want aim assist on PC. I just want aim assist on invis hunters.
Yeah.
On like
while they're
on console. On console, I just want there to not be aim assist negation.
Okay.
Well, they would have to do it on PC if they were going to do that.
They're going to. They're going to. They're going. I'm sure that would happen on PC as well, but for controller players.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're really dragging this out. Let's get to the Twitter questions.
Sorry.
All right. So Reesnaw asks, do you think future raids will be a bit more fast-paced and chaotic like Eater of Worlds, or more slow team-based mechanics like Leviathan? I think it'll be a mix of the two. I think that this next raid layer will probably be short and sweet, similar to Eater of Worlds. And I think in September there'll be like a long mechanic-driven, probably more bosses, hopefully, in the September raid. And then the 2 raid layers, if they're going to keep the same cadence, I think it'll be 1 big raid in September and then 2 smaller raid layers throughout the year.
Well, they have let that out of the bag in the first one. They said that they're only doing they said the change internally was to not make more raids, but to instead expand upon the raids. So in year 1, we're only getting the Leviathan, and that means that we're going to be getting some other cool stuff with Leviathan. But what it also means is that in year 2, we're going to be getting like a new raid. With possibly a new faction, with new with obviously new mechanics. I think that I believe that they've learned from their mistakes. That the Eater of Worlds, although fun, parts of it are not so fun when you've done them 85 to 300 times.
The jumping puzzle, you mean?
Yeah, the beginning part of it, the points of like the stupid Castellan part that like doesn't need to really even be there.
Or you just kill like pointless ads, you mean?
I would rather have 4 fights like the shield puzzle, the shield thing that you have to deal with, like 4 encounters like that, than time gated stuff, because that jumping puzzle is time gated because that thing jumps up and it's like it comes out of the water, but it takes forever to happen. And if you've done it 300 times, like I have people who've done it 500 to 1,000 times.
Wow.
And I can't even imagine that because I think I've done it 70 times or 70. Yeah, 70. I think I did 70 last night.
Mm-hmm. Just
it's
in one
insane
night. Just in one night, he did 70.
in one night. In one night. No, I think that it's they have to have learned from their mistakes.
I've heard that complaint. I think that there is a place for jumping puzzles. Like, I think the King's Fall jumping puzzle was done well. Even though I did that 100 times, I still felt like I actually felt cool about it because I could just blaze through it and pull my whole team forward, you know, in Destiny 1.
Yeah, so like if the jumping puzzle in Eater Worlds worked, like the platform went up the second that you stepped on the first platform, that would be a lot different because then somebody could literally go through the entire thing by themselves or with another person.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way to activate it without 5 people. You need 5 people in that entire thing, and they all need to be on the same page, which sucks.
I am okay with this system, though. I know, like, it would be better to get brand new raids every few months, but I think, you know, if it's going to save them some time to be able to reuse the same map and just different areas of the map, I think the Eater Worlds looks unique enough, and to be able to get 2 raid layers in addition to a raid each year, that's a lot better than just 1 raid a year, so I'm happy with that.
I mean, I think the Eater Worlds looks super unique. Like, it's one of the coolest areas to walk through in the game.
Especially when you get launched out of that tube.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, hopefully the finale is just like a tad longer. I hope that the next in September, Bungie, give us more bosses. Thanks.
Well, I guess we can open that question up a little bit. And what do we actually think the raid is going to be from year 2? Like, what's the focus of year 2?
Well, something on Mars, because or no, that's next expansion. You're meaning
September.
Hive. Just September.
September,
It's gonna be taken again, I think.
Think it's gonna be taken. I think it's gonna be Fallen.
Really?
I think it's gonna be Fallen. It's gonna end with probably either Taken or the new Darkness type.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually going to fight. The final boss isn't going to be Taken, but I think most of the raid is going to be.
So you think that Oryx's sister is going to come year 3, not year 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be high. The Fallen and Hive storylines aren't really close to each other. So if they do the Hive, they're going to go full on what you said. But if they, I think
if
the
the
Taken
Siva
King
make a return
for year
though,
1.
if the Siva make a return like people are postulating in this next DLC, do you think they're going to do Fallen in September?
Yeah, because they could work the gods of the whole point of the gods of Mars and the whole point of the expansion is that we're actually going to find out who the 9 are. And
is it?
Well,
do we find that out?
The 9, I mean, we
not.
kind of already know. The 9 is the they're the Warsats. They are they're Charlemagne. They're
how do we know that?
By reading Grimoire, probably.
But it's a Grimoire, Grimoire stuff. So we
don't know that confirmed. It's like a theory.
I mean, it's a pretty good theory.
Well,
I thought the 9 were going to be those crazy moth people.
Well, I don't know about that. I think the moth people were just a concept. I don't know if they'll ever make it to the game or not.
The only reason I thought that was because like the Trials of the 9 gear, when you go flawless, has like the moth markings on it, like the circles and there's like the mothy capes for the hunters, and everything looks buggish, you know. Is the only reason
who's to saying they can't be both?
Hexblitz makes a good point about the raids. He says he wants to see more bosses and not just puzzles. I would agree with that. I think we do need more boss encounters. Like, just one, like Callus was not enough for the Leviathan.
I think one boss is kind of a mistake to have in anything.
Yeah.
We can have it like one in a raid layer, that's fine.
Right.
But like in a raid, we're expecting I mean, you guys are sitting there watching me play World of Warcraft, and you're like, wait, how many bosses are in here? And how long did it take them to make that? Wait, 6 months? It took them 6 months to make this? And how many bosses? 11? 11? And then in another 6 months, we're going to have 18. And in another 6 months, we're going to have 12? Like, what is going on here in this game where the focus is like, we're going to make this content, and there's still ad clearing and all that other stuff, but there's no puzzles, I guess.
Yeah. And why is your screen
people who are working
full
on
of
puzzles
like
needs to work on bosses?
27 cooldown buttons that you have to manage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting back into WoW, and then I watched you stream, and I was like, I think I'll just watch HK play WoW.
Yeah.
Because I remembered like trying to set up my UI, and back when I played WoW, and like how I'd spend like 18 hours like in a day just sitting in front of my PC, like maybe the map goes here. We'll put these abilities.
Yeah, I have everything pixel perfect now, but that was several months of work to get it that way.
So we have one more Twitter question here, and then we'll get to a couple live questions. Reesnall asks, do you think all future raids will have the loadout modifier or just future layers? I think it'll be all future raids. I think it's going to be the weekly rotating thing to do is the loadout modifiers. The prestige, the prestige thing. I think even in the like they're gonna flesh out prestige more than just like bigger numbers that you have to shoot at, because like they want to probably get away from that too, because the division suffered from a lot of bosses that you would just. There was no mechanics they were just bullet sponges. Well, in the case Those
of
are your
prestige,
favorite encounters, right?
There's no other mechanic other than bullet sponges added on to most of the stuff, or most of them you don't have to worry about. Like baths you don't have to do anything except for just not step on him, just not run over him right away, and that's not a big deal. But you still have to do a lot more damage, which creates a problem of putting too much focus onto power ammo and less focus on like actual strategy.
So what you're saying is we should make the Minotaurs more powerful in the Eater of Worlds, right?
No. No, that would be a mistake.
I think that we should give no. I don't think that they need to be more powerful, but maybe in the prestige version, everybody has to use controllers, and the Minotaurs are invisible. And they have no aim. That would be good.
Well, see, on PC, that wouldn't be a problem. So,
you have any questions in your chat, HK?
Yeah, his Flexter asks the Masterwork armor gear that we get, like helmet, etc. Having all of them equip a bonus. Was the Masterwork gear we get like helmet armor? What bonus do they give? Like what, like the gear that they give for the bonuses?
Yeah, like what do you have by having all of it equipped, all Masterwork gear?
So all Masterwork gear, you get a 3% reduction per piece, and it's up to 15% of like damage you take during your super, and that's what you get. But like if you're holding on to like an exotic, you actually can't get 15% because
only 12.
Yeah, until exotic Masterworks, which we don't know what they're going to do.
But it is kind of broken because certain classes like the Night Stalker and other supers don't benefit from as much as other classes do.
Yeah.
Because their cast of their super is so incredibly short, and the second you're out of it, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Night Stalker on PC does not feel good. It does not.
Hexblitz asks, thoughts on raid gear mods being additional mods, so you can keep your I guess he means you can't keep your weapon accuracy, etc. I kind of wish that they were inherent perks, to be honest with you, but I get why they did it this way. They didn't have to go in and modify the individual items, I guess. I would like to see that change in the future. It'd be cool if you could have those inherent perks on the raid gear in addition to being able to put recovery or whatever. But we'll have to see what mods 2.0 are, if that would like break the game or not.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully, I mean, because I don't I mean, I'm not a huge raider, but if I wouldn't want to not be able to run 9 mobility just because I wanted so much damage or whatever. So I don't want to give up those mod slots. I wish that those were just inherent perks.
I think you can achieve 9 mobility without any mods if you run full mobility gear.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I couldn't run 944 and raid mods.
No.
I just recently found out that the class mod that gives recovery is a class item mod. It does not apply. You can't even apply it towards a hunter cloak if you wanted to. Class items cannot have anything outside of their archetype. So
Hunters
you can't
can only
have recovery.
Mobility.
You can't have recovery on a Titan. You can't have resilience on a Warlock, and you can't have you have to have it's mobility for a hunter, recovery for a Warlock, and even if it says class item, and you can apply it towards both.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it specifies Titan class item or.
But it doesn't. Warlock. There's one that says class item that I have that I actually can't apply on my hunter, even though it says class item.
Well, that's a broken tooltip because most of them say Warlock mod or Titan Mark mod.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know what their thoughts were with that, but apparently they had some sort of balanced philosophy in mind with it. And we'll see how this whole mobility buff affects that too. You know.
Well, just like I don't understand like why these are like. These are the stats we get. Like, why don't we have?
It doesn't like encourage you to try out multiple play styles. It's kind of like this is the way you play hunter.
Well,
this is the way.
So crit, right? So crit though, like in the example of World of Warcraft and like actual stats that actually matter is stuff like crit, mastery, haste, stuff like that. And those all change your game in different ways. That all improve your damage or disprove your damage in certain ways. And I think like having stuff like that is probably more impactful for the people who are after the better gear. Because right now you get a 335 piece and you're like, well, it's 335, so I guess I can put whatever stats I want on it. It doesn't really make a difference. But it's not transmog and it's not the other. I don't know. It should improve our damage. It shouldn't have anything to do with our stats like mobility. Mm-hmm. Because someone who's running 9 mobility right now can get a higher jump. Someone who's running 7 resilience right now might get a better, so what is it, 7 resilience in PvP, right?
In PvP, I mean
you need 4. You need 4 resilience in PvP or 10. If you're gonna go high resilience, you need to go all the way to 10 pretty much to make a difference.
4 makes a difference in 200 RPM scout TTK, 8 makes a difference in 180 RPM scout TTK, and 10 makes a difference in hand.
You have another question, HK?
Yeah. Alex again asks, is there a way to extend any of the supers, like when a Titan says if you can stand in your sunspot, it can be extended? Depends on some of the different types of subclasses have other items that do them, like the Raiden Flux does for the Arcstrider, which extends the super based on successive melee attacks, or other things like the what's it, the one for Warlock, the one that like extends it every time you hit something.
Oh, is it a Dawnblade thing?
No,
I don't know. Dawnblade.
So if you hit something with a Dawnblade,
gloves,
it gives you like
right. You're talking about the
No, it's the chest piece. It's the wings of Sacred Dawn. They give you extra super power every time you kill something.
I thought those just make you hover in the air.
They also do that.
Oh, okay. Hexblitz asks, how would you guys feel if they added in PvP specific stat to separate PvP and PvE, similar to World of Warcraft, where it's plus damage versus players and reduced damage from players? I think that separating the sandboxes in general is a good idea. I kind of wish that there was just PvP gear and PvE gear, like just have different loadouts, that way that we can have more interesting stuff in PvE. We can have a more balanced experience in PvP.
More stats aren't bad.
Yeah.
Right? More stats in this case aren't bad. We could have a set of 3 stats, mobility, resilience, and a thing for PvP, and then figure else out what else you want to do for PvP or PvE. And then have that. So if you decided like, I want to go in my PvE gear, like have it not be a super detriment. The way that World of Warcraft handles it, as to his point, versatility is the PvP like stat, which is increase the amount of damage you do and decrease the amount of damage you take, damage and healing. So it's useful in PvE because it's like 1% every single time. But like if you're in PvE gear when you go into PvP, you will be at a detriment, but you won't be like at a super detriment, because what it does is it gives you like a 15% bonus to that. So you're not like, you don't have to go crazy on PvP. You'll still be all right. But if you had PvP gear, you would be a lot better.
All right, let's just do one or two more and then the sign off, because Huffy's got to get going here. So
I don't have any more questions.
Oh, neither do I. Okay, we can do our sign off now then. Thanks everybody for coming. It has been an awesome podcast. I think we did pretty good on time this week and covered a lot of stuff. GuardianCast. Let us know what you think of that title.
GuardianCast? Question mark?
Yeah, GuardianCast.
Guard some guy named Ian who's casting a spell.
Again, this will be up on YouTube.
Those don't exist in...
Exclamation podcast in chat to see the most recent episode. It'll come up with last week's episode if you're watching live right now. Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments of that title. I think this is getting better each week. Hopefully we'll have a guest next week to talk about PvP. I'm Wrecked. You can find me on Twitter at RECKEDUM. And you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/RECKED_UM. HK.
Oh, yeah. It's HK. Yeah, I'm HK. HK117 on Twitch. Twitch.tv/HK117. I'm also on Twitter at the HK117. That's, yeah.
Hello, my name is Huffy. I am at Huffy on Twitch on Twitter, and I'm Huffy Live on Twitch.
Perfect. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
See you then.
All right.
Bye.